characters being brought back after dying is common practice in Marvel Comics and, thus, the films. However, in previous MCU arcs, it would occur on a case-by-case basis. Think the Avengers re-encountering Thanos via time travel or Phil Coulson being MacGyvered back together by doctors at S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, in the Multiverse saga, characters can seemingly return at any point by just having them exist outside Earth 616/the Sacred Timeline. This reduces the stakes considerably, not to mention the weightiness of moments like Coulson or Iron Man sacrificing themselves. Now, no character has to permanently die. This isn't to say that the saga hasn't been interesting or necessary, even. When Disney acquired 21st Century Fox, characters like Deadpool and Wolverine had to be brought into the fold somehow, and what better way to do that than by cementing the concept of multiple universes? However, at this point, it has undeniably spiraled out of control. There are more setups than films and TV shows to resolve them, as evidenced recently by Kit Harington, Dane Whitman/the future Black Knight in Eternals, who confirmed that there are no plans in place to revisit his character. Not to mention, there is so much sheer quantity of media to keep up with now that Marvel has become inaccessible to even the die-hard fans. Fortunately, this dilemma will likely get resolved in one fell swoop in Avengers: Secret Wars. The rumor regarding the future of the MCU, a bombshell, was dropped on the Watch podcast via Screen Rant by Joanna Robinson, co-author of MCU: The Reign of Marvel Studios. She claimed to have a quote from Kevin Feige saying that Avengers: Secret Wars would act as a soft reboot for the franchise. In other words, the film would clear the continuity board and end the multiverse, reintroducing real stakes again. Screen Rant goes on to cite a passage from the book echoing this claim. It reads, Feige had to learn different lessons from the comics: how superheroes periodically needed to be rebooted, how to stop variants and spin-offs from spiraling out of control, how an annual mega-crossover event could unify a disparate line of characters. And what happened in the Avengers: Secret Wars comic? The stories saw the realities of the multiverse collide and be destroyed, with aspects of the Ultimate Universe, like Miles Morales and company, being merged into Earth 616. So, Feige's intentions aside, the source material contains a pretty manual reboot. Loki on Disney Plus has also been a source of clues hinting that Avengers: Secret Wars would head in this direction. When we last saw Loki, he had just made the major sacrifice to manually hold together the multiverse and all its branched timelines himself, all in the hope that something better could grow in the place of one sacred timeline. Complete with a new crown and throne, this doesn't seem to be so much character development for him as a complete transformation, but into what? Well, fans have noticed compelling similarities between Loki and characters in the comics like the Beyonder. Moreover, character crossovers and references to the TVA, the Time Variance Authority, in multiple new Marvel projects suggest some sort of multiversal conclusion in events to come. But what will come of Kong in the MCU? Loki Seasons 1 and 2 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania spent a lot of time building up Kong as the big bad before Jonathan Majors was dropped by the studio. Deadpool and Wolverine, set after Loki Season 2, is the first major Marvel project since to show a version of the TVA that doesn't appear to be looking for his variants, at least not as a priority. This could imply that the MCU has simply pivoted from Kong rather than recasting him, a move that, while understandable, has left fans' heads spinning. Deadpool 3 attempts to bridge the old with the new in a number of ways, for instance, rogue TVA agent Paradox and the concept of anchor beings. Paradox tells Deadpool that Wolverine/Logan was the anchor being of Earth 10005, the 20th Century Fox movies. In the words of Cinema Blend, these individuals are so important to an alternate universe that, if and when they die, the universe slowly starts to decay in their absence. The entire process can take thousands of years. We don't yet know who the anchor being of Earth 616 is. Could Robert Downey Jr. be involved? When speculating who might have been so important to Earth 616 to be considered an anchor being, fans immediately jumped to Robert Downey's Tony Stark. However, the very rules established by Deadpool and Wolverine probably mean this is debunked. The Loki series makes it known that the events of Avengers Endgame were always meant to happen. Therefore, Stark was always meant to die. However, we do know that Robert Downey Jr. will be returning to the MCU, but rather as the evil Doctor Doom. This could, at the very least, fill the gap left by Majors as the Avengers villain. It will be fascinating to see how the MCU puts together all the isolated narrative pieces, the magic embodied by Strange and the Witches, the cosmic embodied by the Guardians and Captain Marvel, the street level embodied by Spider-Man and Daredevil. Then there's the fact that the Fantastic Four and the X-Men have yet to fully appear in their own right. So, if the soft reboot doesn't unify these disparate stories, it should at least properly break them off into sub-franchises and leave these bigger team-up events behind for now. The MCU is streaming on Disney+.